What's up, everyone? I hope you guys had a fantastic new comic book day. So today I'm going to be going over my top 10 list for new comic book day, April 14th, 2021. This was such a massive week of books. I ended up picking up 12 different issues this week. I probably could have gotten closer to 20, but I had to pick and choose a little bit, so I only ended up with 12 this week. But stick around to see who claims number one. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. I am your host, AR Comics, and today I'm going to be going over my top 10 list for new comic book day, April 14th, 2021. I got so many good books this week, and I can't wait to talk about them with you guys. But before I get started on this list, if you are new to the channel, I drop weekly comic book content that'll keep you up to date on all of the latest releases. So if that sounds like something you do not want to miss out on, make sure you hit the subscribe button down low and the little bell to get notified every time I drop new content. You won't regret it. And now, without further ado, let's get started on this list. So I hope you guys enjoyed your new comic book day and you were able to get all of the issues you wanted to. As I was saying, this was a huge week of books. I only ended up getting 12 different issues this week. There were so many other ones I wanted to grab, but I just couldn't get them all. DC killed it. Marvel even had some other books that I was interested in. And you can't forget about Image. They had a couple brand new ones coming out as well. But I picked 12 issues that I thought I was going to like the most. So as far as this list goes, these first two I'm going to be talking about did not make the cut, and they are in no particular order. So the first one is Non-Stop Spider-Man issue number 2, and this is cover A. I don't know what it was about this issue. I didn't really like it at all. So in my opinion, I don't know if this is just me, but I felt like the dialogue boxes were so incredibly small, and there was just so much action happening on all these pages. So between all this action and just unnecessary dialogue, it kind of felt like the story and the pages were being really cluttered, and it just wasn't doing it for me. So moving on after that, the next one that didn't make the cut this week is Black Cat, issue number 5, and this is cover A as well. And I don't know if what happened between issues number 4 and 5 for this one. It felt like it was two completely different stories. I didn't hate this one. I was kind of reading it. I really liked the artwork, and I thought the story itself was going in a decent direction. But once it hit the ending, I was like, all right, I'm not really enjoying this. I don't honestly care where it's going to be going, but I'll probably grab at least one more issue to see where it goes from there. But those are the two issues that did not make the cut. So now moving on to the top 10 list. Alright, everyone, with this top 10 list this week, I'm going to try to keep it as spoiler-free as possible, but you guys already know, sometimes I get excited talking about these issues, and spoilers slip up, so just be aware that spoilers could happen in this. But we have coming in at number 10 this week, Thor, issue number 14, this is cover A, and for those of you reading this, this is the end of the arc. I don't know. I didn't really like it at all. I'm going to be honest with this one. I hope this isn't an ongoing trend with Donny Cates right now, but when this series kicked off, I loved it. I thought those first few issues were incredible, but as the first arc went on, I thought it fell very flat, and I hated the ending. And then we moved on to those two bridge issues that led into this arc. I really didn't like those either, but I did understand the importance of them. And then when this arc kicked off, I loved it. I thought it was incredible. I think it even came in number 1 that week, but as it went on, I thought it got a little bit more boring. And then this last issue, I didn't really like it. It fell very flat to me. We've been building up to this whole massive fight with Donald Blake and everybody else this entire time. And it's like they were all there, and I don't even know if a real fight did happen. I wouldn't call it a real battle. But then it just kind of ended, and then a few more things happened, but I don't know. I just felt like it was a letdown. And there's so many other things right now, and like I said, this is all my opinion, that Donny Cates is writing, and I think it's kind of just falling short as the arc is wrapping up. I felt that way with King in Black. I'm hoping Venom doesn't end on a bad note with me too, but Thor, his Image series, like I said, this is all just my opinion. I would love to talk about it down low a little bit more, but for those reasons, coming in at number 10 this week. And up next, we have coming in at number 9 this week, Homesick Pilots, issue number 5. This is cover A. I know I talked about cover B in the previews video, and I really wanted to grab that one, but they didn't have any copies there. And for those of you reading the same thing, this is the end of the arc. I thought it was pretty good. The only problems I had with it is I wish we got a little bit more info about a lot of things. It pretty much still picks up where the last issue went off. And Amy, you know, she's got her, not powers, but she's kind of taking control of the house now. She's not going to let the house control her and tell her basically what to do. And I thought it was a pretty cool issue. Overall, I love the artwork. The artwork in this series right now is absolutely incredible. And we got a little bit more info about where the next arc is going to lead us, and I thought that was pretty cool too. So overall, I did think that they did a great job with this first arc. I like the first couple issues a lot more than these last ones, but they did start to introduce some more characters. They introduced a little bit more stuff here and there, and I'm really excited to see where they go with this series. But for those reasons, coming in at number 9. And next up on the list, we have coming in at number 8 this week. This is Aftershocks, Scout's Honor, issue number 4. And I'm loving this series so far. I think the artwork is extremely well done, and the pacing of this story is so good. They're doing such a great job with it. It's almost as if each issue, they're starting off with where we think it's going to go, and then they kind of accomplish everything within that issue, and then it sets up the next issue so well. And it's not like the issues get diverted and go in all these different directions, and you're kind of like, all right, now we've got all these open plots going. They're pretty much sticking to one main plot with this one, and they're just really doing a great job telling this story. So with this issue, it picks up right where the last one left off. Kit, she now knows everything that's going on within the Scouts right now. She's kind of telling people within the Scouts too, like, hey, we're actually the bad guys and we're doing all these other bad things. And the issue goes from there, and now she's working with the highway robbers. I think that's so cool too. I can't wait to see where they go with this one. But for those reasons, I'm definitely suggesting Scout's Honor. You guys need to be reading this one from Aftershock, but we have it coming in at number 8 this week. And up next on the list, we have coming in at number 7 this week. This is Aftershocks, Maniac of New York, issue number 3. And while I'm still not the biggest fan of the artwork, I do think it flows very well with this story. This issue 3 was exactly what I wanted out of this series. So I love the first issue. I thought it was very well executed. I like what they did with it and kind of the setup. The second issue, I read them both together, so it felt like it was the same exact story to me. I thought the second issue was kind of boring. We didn't really get a whole lot of new info. It was all right. But this third issue picks up right where the last one left off. And the cool thing about this one is while nothing really did happen, if we're being honest, we got a lot more backstory on these main characters and kind of why the way that they are and how they're here dealing with the Maniac of New York. Pretty much why they're not in some other department right now doing something else. I really like that backstory and the aspect of it. Now, the one thing that I did not like about this issue is, I'm not going to spoil it, but the way that they started this issue off, that first text bubble, if you read it, you know what I'm talking about. I don't like that they did that. I think if they wouldn't have included that, it would have turned into more of a surprise thing towards the end. And I think that would have put this issue higher on my list, in my opinion. Let me know down low in the comment section what you thought about it. But for those reasons, coming in at number 7. And now we have coming in at number 6 this week. This is Marvel's brand new one, Spider-Man, Spider's Shadow, issue number 1. This is cover A. There were so many other cool covers for this one, but I just went with cover A. And you know what? I really wasn't sure how I felt about this until I hit about the halfway point of the issue. I read the beginning of it and I thought, man, this really isn't that good. I've almost read it before. So if you've read Symbiote Spider-Man, I think it was volume 2, the one with Hobgoblin being the main character. If you've read that, I feel like this read almost identical to that. It felt like it was almost the exact same story, and I was flipping through the pages like, man, okay, this happened. I remember this happened the first time in Symbiote Spider-Man. Now Hobgoblin's here too. But then we hit about the halfway point, and Chip Zdarsky does what he does best, and he just really kicked it up a notch. And it turned into a whole new issue for me, and I was like, whoa, this is pretty solid. So I definitely enjoyed it. I highly recommend checking it out if you are a Spider-Man fan. I don't want to spoil too much for this one for you, but just, it is a what if. It's not really going to be a new series. I believe it's only a 4-issue mini run, but I can't wait to see what Chip Zdarsky does with it because I feel like they're going to be going down a little dark pathway for this one. So coming in at number 6. And now we're down to the top 5 issues of the week. We have coming in at number 5 this week. This is AWA's Redemption, issue number 3. I love this issue. They're doing such a great job with this series so far. As always, I love the artwork. The artwork is absolutely stunning for this series, but as far as the issue itself went, it was completely action-packed and they did a great job with it. But the other cool thing other than the action is we got to see the Butcher and the main character kind of going back and forth a little bit. They were just talking about things. We got to learn a little bit more about their characters. And another cool thing is we got to see a little bit of backstory about this character. I'm not 100% on what his name is. They don't really use names in this series. I know the Butcher, and then that's kind of the only name that they consistently use. But this character right here, we got to see a little bit more about him and how he turned out the way that he did. So I thought that was really cool too, and I can't wait to see where they go with this series. This is one that I definitely think they can wrap up in the 5 issues, and I think they're going to do a great job with it. So for those reasons, coming in at number 5. And now we have coming in at number 4 this week, The Joker, issue number 2. This is cover A, and I actually had to go back into the comic shop to get this one because I had so many books on my pull list this week, I totally forgot it even came out, but I'm really happy I went back for it because I thought it was so good. I love the artwork in this series. Overall, honestly, I think DC's got better artwork than Marvel for the most part. Not all of Marvel, but I don't know. I'd like DC's artwork just a little bit more. With this issue, it picks up right where the last one left off, and I love what they're doing with the series so far. I like how they're not focusing on Batman. This whole series is still focused on Commissioner Gordon, and I like what they're doing with this one. This issue felt more of like a bridge issue to lead us into the third one, because this one he's still pretty much mulling over his decision if he's going to take the job. Is he going to take down the Joker, or is he going to live the rest of his days retired, thinking about the Joker in the back of his mind? So he's kind of talking to Barbara, his daughter, Batman a little bit, and he's kind of laying down the law with what he wants. If he does this job, these are the things that he needs. And overall, like I said, I thought it was a very good issue. I highly recommend checking out this Joker one. I mean, you guys are the ones that recommend DC books to me, but if you aren't on the Joker right now, definitely give it a shot. But for those reasons, coming in at number 4. And up next in the list, we have coming in at number 3 this week, The Scumbag, issue number 7, and I loved this issue. So as far as the artwork goes, this is, in my opinion, hands down the best artwork of the series so far. And honestly, as far as the artwork with the story goes, this might be the best issue as well. There's so many other issues that I review and I talk about it saying, well, the story was very good, but I feel like the artwork wasn't that good. And then there's other issues where I talk about where I said the artwork was crazy good, but the story itself not really that good. So if you guys didn't already know this, they do change the artist up every single issue. So this one, it needs to stay. I loved every single part of it, but at the same time, I can understand why some people aren't really enjoying the Scumbag anymore. If we're being honest, almost every single issue is pretty much the same thing at this point. We have Ernie. He's a scumbag. He loves drugs, hookers, alcohol, all of that stuff, and every issue leads to the same ending. There's a group of bad people, and they're trying to tempt him with those things so he can use his powers. I get that it's getting a little bit repetitive, but I'm still loving this series. If you're enjoying it too, let me know what you think about it down low. And seriously, this art in this issue, I can't talk about it enough, but for those reasons, coming in at number 3. And now we're down to the top 2 issues this week. Coming in at number 2, we have AWA's Chariot, issue number 2. This issue blew my mind. I almost had no idea where they were going with this series after the first issue. I talked about it in the previews video. I said it kind of gave me Knight Rider vibes. I really enjoyed it. But this one, it took it on a whole new level. This was such a good issue. And it still is kind of a Knight Rider-ish thing. The car itself has a spirit inside of it. And now the spirit with the main character, they can communicate and go back and forth with each other, and they really took this issue and this series overall to a different level that I really wasn't expecting. I thought it was kind of going to remain main character, car, and maybe now they do some cool badass things together, but it went a totally different direction. This is something, in my opinion, you need to be reading from AWA right now. So for those reasons, coming in at number 2. And here it is, coming in at number 1 this week. My top read of the week, we have Boom Studios, Proctor Valley Road, issue number 2. And I'm just loving this series. I don't know exactly what it is, but I think the artwork is great. I love the concept of the story. The characters are very likable. And this is one that I'm suggesting to everybody that they need to be reading right now. Boom Studios is killing it with this series. And this issue, it picks up right where the last one left off. These girls are still trying to go to this Janis Joplin concert, and they need this money. But now that they've come back, still alive, the boys never returned, and everyone is interrogating them. Everyone thinks that they took these boys over the border because they're dodging the war, and the girls are like, you know what? No, we didn't do this, so we're going to go investigate in Proctor Valley Road, and they're going to figure things out on their own. And then, some things happen from there. And like I was saying, this is such a good series from Boom Studios. I highly suggest checking it out, but for those reasons, easily my top read of the week. You know what? I can't even say that. There were so many good issues this week, but coming in at number 1, we have Proctor Valley Road, issue number 2. So what do you guys think? This was such a fun week for books, and there were so many good ones that came out. I only ended up grabbing 12 issues this week. As I said in the beginning of the video, I easily could have grabbed closer to 20. There were so many good ones. But let me know down below in the comment section what your favorite issue was this week. And thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. And if you don't want to miss out on any of my upcoming content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down low and the little bell to get notified every time I drop new content. You won't regret it. And I've got 2 more videos sitting off to the side here with more of my comic book content. Click on one of those and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.